Yeah. Say something about H1 visa. Someone want to
H1B?
come on H1.
No, H1B visa is
For nurses, like,
well, H1B is a visa for people with university. Do I have to press something?
No.
H1B visa is for persons who have a university diploma. The higher, the better, meaning a master's and a PhD are even better, because there's a quota for H1B visas per year. And if you have a master's or a PhD, you get in for sure. Those only with a bachelor's degree have a 30% chance of a computer selecting their name. So the H1B could be up to 6 years. And to get a lot of young people who are single who come here, they eventually marry by natural life. They marry an American citizen, they get a green card. Others have to go through a process called labor certification, where the employer must advertise and try to recruit and get U.S. Department of Labor certification. And the whole process can take 2 to 3 years. It's a lengthy process. But once you file for labor certification, your H-1B can be extended until the labor certification process is over. When you're on an H-1B visa, you're a prisoner to that company. You cannot just start working for another company. If you want to switch, we could file a change of employer, but you just can't work for anyone else. And one of the problems for H-1B for the green card through labor certification is that there are quotas for people from every country. So that there's so many highly qualified Indians. Indian people have the highest number of PhDs and masters coming into America. There are enough jobs in India. They come into America, they go through labor certification, and the category that they're in, there's a quota that they limit the number of Indians per year. So one of my tasks ahead of me is through someone I know who's friends with Donald Trump Jr., is to get influence to the President of the United States to drop all quotas for Indians, to let the super brains from India, one of the greatest exports the Indian nation has is the brain power, bring those people to America without limitations to make America better and greater, as he says. He said, we don't want the scum of the earth coming in. We want good people, educated people who help build the brains behind isn't the president of Google today of Indian origin? Yeah, you have Indian people successful everywhere in America. The educated class have so much to offer America. Peaceful people, no radical philosophies. They don't demonstrate and try to harm other people of other religions. They're peaceful people. We need more good quality people in America to make America better and greater. And I look forward to the day that the United States and India become closer and closer.
One specific question.
Sure.
There are many Indians working in Europe countries like, England, Finland. They want to come to America on H1. Or people working in New Zealand as nurses. What are the nurses' opportunities in America?
Well, there is a designated shortage of nursing in America. They're certified by the Department of Labor and Shortage, so they need to pass certain tests to be certified and get a license in a state, have a state license, and a company could apply for them for a green card for nurses.
What are the possibilities with H1B?
For a what?
H1B visa. Can they come on H1B?
No, H1B is for people with a 4-year diploma. You don't need a 4-year diploma to be an RN in the United States. But there's some advanced nursing, managerial nursing. There are some high levels of nursing that can get the H1B, but those are very rare. Nursing is a big shortage in the United States, and I would suggest that in the nursing schools in India, that they should teach them to speak English without the accent. Some of the comments from hospital administrators, they bring in Filipino and Indians who speak English, but they have such thick accents no one understands them. So I would recommend they start teaching them how to pronounce English words in American accent to enable the communications. I have a friend of mine who's he's in charge of personnel and hiring of nurses for a major public hospital in Miami, and he said that a lot of them, no one understands them. Not necessarily Indians, of all different kinds. And he says those nursing schools need to give them tutors, speech tutors, to help them pronounce words. Someone shouldn't say uncle for an uncle. Yet she should know how to say uncle. Okay, there are words that just practicing how to pronounce the words is very helpful.
Yeah,
but going back to those in all these other countries, do they have citizenship in those countries?
Exactly.
Do they? If they do, there's a lot more things. They have the E2 investor visa.
Okay.
They could get, because Indians do not have the E2 visa. So that if they got citizenship in England or Finland, those European countries, most of them have the E2 visa, and you have $100,000 or more investment to start up a business of your own. Now, some healthcare professionals, what they've done with the E2, they didn't have a license yet in the United States, but they had money. So they buy a small medical practice, hire other people while they study for their license. And they just manage the business until they get licensed. So I look at everyone to find out where they're from, what passports they have, what are their goals, and I tell them H-1B is only a starting point. For a single person, you got to hit the singles market. Look for your wife, your husband. Don't date Indians. Date people who are American citizens. They could be of Indian origin, but you can't be dating other Indian students like yourself because you want to get married to an American, which leads a natural, easy way, which statistics show most foreign students who become H-1B visa holders end up getting married to U.S. citizens by nature, naturally. No fake marriages, real marriages, love, intellectual people meet each other, they fall in love with each other.
Can they call to this number or this email ID to ask some questions if they have? Suppose
If someone wants to be my client, they're more than welcome to contact me by email.
Yeah, this the baraklo.com and your email ID.
My website has my email address.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Alex. You said Alex, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your question, sir?
No. My question is like the current H-1B visa holders. So we are going through the long process, right? So how we can switch to the green card? What should be the fastest way?
Well,
what are the options which is available?
there's only one option.
Yeah,
Unless you have money, a lot of money. Unless you have a lot of money to go into investment base, you have to go through labor certification and get approved. And then the problem with that is that the Indian nation, there's a limitation listed. There's something you should look at. It's called the Visa Bulletin. It comes out every month. So right now we're in the end of May. The June Bulletin is out. Look on the Visa Bulletin, June 2025. You're going to look to see employment base, and you're going to see it gives definitions which. So you could be a EB2 or an EB3. EB3 is skilled workers in short supply. Outstanding professors and researchers could be an EB2 or 1. Look to see which category you're in. And they have limitations on certain countries. Indians, Chinese, Mexicans. You see the longer waiting because they can't have more than X number of visas, immigrant visas for Indians each year. So there's a backlog. Many people have to go back home. And this is not fair to America. We have brains who want to be part of our society, who have a lot to contribute. It's not fair. The system is not fair. We need an overhaul. That's why I need to get to the president somehow to convince him about he's getting bad advice about many things on immigration law. He has someone, I want to mention his name because I'll probably be sued, but he has an advisor who just hates immigrants altogether, and they're doing terrible things right now to stymie immigration. We have people from Venezuela who have bullets fired at them because of anti-government protests, and now he wants to end TPS for Venezuelans. That's crazy. That's lunacy. Most of the Venezuelan clients I have are all university educated, and they love it in America, and they have a lot to offer us. We should be loving these people because they appreciate America more than some of our own wild, crazy students. Leftist philosophy, woke philosophy. They riot on campus. They attack other students. They call for the downfall of America. They're crazy people. And so we've seen that on the campuses, all these left-wing radicals. We don't need those kind of people. We want normal, law-abiding people, peaceful people. The Indians are a peaceful people. And I welcome more to come. So one of my tasks I'd like to do is to get to the President of the United States and the government, people who want to change immigration law in a way that benefits America. And Trump likes it. If it's better for America, it's good. But he's not getting the right signals to him. So we need to get the message out. Let's open the door for Indians. Give them preferential treatment. There are areas of the law where there's preferential treatment. Cubans, for example. If they come to America, they ask for asylum, they're entitled to it under the Cuban Adjustment Act. Special treatment for them because they're fighters against communism. But what about improving America with the best source in the world, the people? The Indians. How many people are in India? 1.2 billion?
Yeah, now we have the most populated country.
1.2 billion.
Yes.
Okay, take the 10% most intelligent people. That's 120 million, right? Take 10% of those super intelligent. It's 12 million. You have 12 million Indians whose intelligence would say off the charts, who could be will be a valuable resource. More and more of them. We have in the United States a lot. In the city of Raleigh, North Carolina, there are thousands of Indians, PhDs, who are working for American pharmaceutical companies, medical research company. One of my wife's cousins works for a U.S. government medical think tank that evaluates all new medications and products to recommend if they're good or not. He was on Operation Warp Speed on the COVID. He told me, I investigated Moderna and Pfizer's drugs for COVID. It's going to save billions of lives. There are going to be a few people who get bad reactions. It happens with every vaccine. I'm telling you, it's worth it to do. I was very skeptical, but he assured me he's in the field. He knows what he's doing. But he has a lot of Indian friends. He said, these people are enormous. They're so nice. They're so good. They're so warm. And they're all the kids are getting straight A's in school. We need to build up our Indian population with these super intellectuals. We want good quality immigration. This is the number one source in the world right now of people who would like to come.
I have one last question. So a lot of students are ready to come to US for their higher studies. So what is the scope and the current government, US administration, right? The current scenario. What's your thought and your advice?
Well, first of all, university that have been harboring terrorists, promoting terrorist philosophy, the president already cut out all foreign visas of Harvard are gone because Harvard's been taking money from Qatar and Iran and putting in professors who are teaching hate and false history and brainwashing kids, and they're promoting terrorism on campus, threatening other students, preventing them from going to classes, rioting like crazy, causing destruction. So I would stay away from these universities you read about in the newspaper, Harvard, Columbia, all the UCLA. You go to schools in Texas and Florida. That's where you have more control over these things. The governor of Florida, we don't allow pro-terrorist people on our campuses to preach their hate. We're going to send them out. We're taking them away. That's it. They get expelled from our universities. We do not allow hate.
So that is a part, right? But there are students who are focusing on their studies and they are planning to come.
They need to have the money. They have to afford. They have to get what's called an I-20 document. You apply to the Foreign Student Department of a university in a place that they don't have these troubles. I know that Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee, advertised, we don't have any riot or anything. Come to our school. The governor of Florida said anyone goes to a university where you're being harassed and threatened by these Islamic terrorists on campus, come to Florida. We'll waive transfer fees. We'll accept you as a transfer because we don't allow hate in our universities in our state. So you apply to a school, I-20. You have to show your educational qualifications to go into the university. You have to show the proof of financial ability, and then you apply to the universities and get your feet wet. I recommend everyone get at least a master's degree because then H-1B you can get into. Every year, those who only have a bachelor's degree only have a 30% chance of being selected by a computer. It's like a lottery. But masters and PhDs get in each year. Then you get your feet in the door and you socialize with other people like young people do. But just don't date another person from your country who's a student like you because that leads to nothing. But it's nothing wrong looking for a wife or a husband of a particular country, I didn't like American girls. I was dating foreign girls from different countries. I ended up with a Panamanian. I just didn't like American girls. That was my choice. So if I met a pretty American girl, I just passed on it because I wasn't interested. I wanted something exotic.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it, Alex.
One last question. What made you to come to Houston?
Well, they say that oil brought men to Texas, but the air conditioning keeps them there. But actually, putting that joke aside, this gentleman over here,
I do real estate, he does immigration.
yeah, he used to live in Miami. He was a neighbor of mine in Aventura, Florida for over 20 years. We have friends. He's always remained in contact with me. And he said this is a good opportunity for me, for business, and to help Indian people, educate them how they could come to America. Because that's my goal, come to America. This is from the song by Neil Diamond. Did you know that Neil Diamond wrote that song for his grandmother? He dedicated the song to his grandmother who came from Kiev. She also escaped persecution. So I'm the son of immigrants. On my mother's side from Russia, my father's side from Poland. I'm a child of immigrants. Look at me. I'm speaking to you people trying to help you. And all I do is to help people. Some people make money, they sell products. I help people. I go home and I feel good. I don't feel good that I make money. I feel good when I get someone approved for their category and save people from losing their green cards or citizenship.
Eventually, it is a give and take, right? In
Yeah,
your
of course.
American.
It's a country of opportunity.
Yeah, you give service.
And people come,
Tremendous noble job.
people
And
come.
he does global level. It's very hard to find a person like that. When they look at the profile, he's a third job change in the country
Oh,
in terms of immigration. Yeah.
thank you, sir. Your good name?
Philip Padir from Miami, Florida.
Not
Right now
And
we
you,
moved
sir.
to Houston. We opened up a new office here. Yeah.
Not
Not
loud.
only Edgemanu.
8 minutes. Okay, okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Did you sign in over here? You got to sign in over here. It's a book here.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, and spread the news. Spread the news. I'm here to help.
Thanks.